Welcome back, Sci 211 students. The aim of today's video is to review the research design worksheet, which is final project Milestone 2, which will be submitted in Module 5. You will get started on this assignment in Module 4. Similar to Milestone 1, there is a guiding document and a template provided for you to make it a little easier to complete this work. You are currently viewing an example research design worksheet. I will show you the template in a second, but this is a completed worksheet that takes a look at a particular article. Keep in mind that for you, you are going to combine all three articles that you reviewed, and you're only going to complete one research design worksheet. So you're not going to have one worksheet for each of the articles. After completing your literature review, which you completed for Milestone 1, you are going to review the article and look for specific aspects of the articles you're reviewing to inform the completion of this design worksheet. The first component that you're going to include is gap identification. In terms of gap identification, you're going to review the articles, see what the researchers did, how they carried out their studies, what they found based on the introduction section where they discuss the gap that they identified, and you're going to formulate and identify a gap within the extant or existing literature. What's missing? So researchers found A, B, and C, but what they still have neglected to investigate or find is D, and that is your gap. So you're going to explicitly discuss the gap that you identified within the three articles in this section. Use this document, this example, as a guide. The next section is simply your research question. For your research question, you're going to develop a question based on the gap that you identified. Make sure that the question that you formulate is answerable. In other words, if you design a study, you will be able to answer that question. That is the purpose of designing a coherent research question. Many students often include 2 or 3 questions within one. I would recommend that you narrow down your question to one simplistic, answerable question, and be sure to include a question mark at the end. The next component is the most comprehensive component. That is the research design. In this section, you're going to discuss the type of study you propose to carry out. Once again, you're not actually carrying out a study, but you're designing one. Is it going to be a correlational study, descriptive research, an experiment, qualitative research? You're going to discuss that. And in addition to discussing the type of research design, you're going to provide a rationale for why you made this decision. For example, why did you choose an experiment over a correlational study? A couple sentences there to clarify that selection would be helpful. In addition, you're going to discuss the population of interest, the population from which you will draw your sample. Discuss the population and add a sentence or two that explains the rationale for that selection as well. Furthermore, in this section, you're going to discuss potential biases of your research design. You may have potential researcher bias or sampling bias. You're going to identify this and simply discuss it and how you will work as the researcher, how you plan to mitigate that bias. Last but not least, you will include a discussion of ethics, research ethics. You're going to discuss how you may mitigate any ethical issues you may face, depending on the population of interest, the research design methods. Be sure to discuss how you will implement strategies to alleviate any potential ethical issues. As the researcher, it's your responsibility to do this to protect participants from any potential harm. So be sure to provide a detailed account of how you will include this in your research design. And use this document as a guide to complete the blank research design worksheet, which allows you to highlight and remove text to complete this document. Complete this template with each section and the appropriate level of detail. As you work on this throughout Module 4 and into Module 5, please feel free to use the general questions form or email your instructor for clarification of anything that's causing confusion. Happy writing!